and it was like the moment I told him my address, he was just like, be there in 20. So it was perfect. He pulls up. I only grabbed a gram on this particular day. I believe Kevin threw a little bit, and we split it because it was only for this night. Now, we didn't really know what we were doing on this particular night yet. And there is a very interesting person who we're going to introduce here. We're going to call him Peter. And he has been in my previous videos, but we've changed his name for privacy reasons to respect him because of what I'm about to say in this video. Peter is a longtime friend of mine. I've known this guy literally since elementary school, but never really kicked it with him a ton. And he started kicking it with Kevin right as the Coke binge was beginning. Not with me, just with Kevin. And he hits up Kevin while I'm with him and asks to hang out. Kevin asks me, yo, do you care if Peter comes through? I'm like, hey, man, I don't care. I haven't seen that guy in a long time. Tell him, yeah, come through, man. Because I was excited to see the dude. Now, he pulls up. I didn't really know if he was just a smoker or what kind of drugs this guy was into. But it turns out he's down for whatever. You know, I tell him I have blow, and this guy's like, fuck yeah, man, let's go. And I'm like, bet, dude, haven't seen this guy in a while. Fun time, you know, fun way to celebrate. Do a little Coke with him. So we're all chilling in Kevin's dining room. We're doing some blow. We're chilling out. We go out to his garage and smoke a little bit. And we're just having a chill kind of night. And, you know, as the night progresses, we started hanging out pretty early in the evening. As the night went on, there's a guy who we're going to call Nathan. And Nathan had a garage that everybody would go hang out at. I didn't really know Nathan prior to this summer, but Kevin knew him. And a lot of people that I hung out with started going to this guy's garage and smoked there. I don't know when this guy's garage became a thing, and I don't know what it is with my videos in garages, because there's a lot of garages in these stories. But nevertheless, this motherfucker had the new garage spot. So me, Peter, and Kevin slide over there. I shake up Nathan, you know, that's what's up. And I had, like, known him, like, I've met him
Your
before,
approach is
but
heading
like,
left.
on
No, it's
anything
unlucky.
more
Missed the
than
green
13
on that
bases,
one.
really. Like, that was about it.
He's ready
Like, I
to
knew his name,
tee
that was
off.
it.
Let's see what he
So I
has.
shook off with him, we're chilling in there, doing some blow, smoking some dope. It's a chill night. It's kind of a, he's got a nice setup in there. He has like a heater, and he had like couches surrounding his little table with a big mirror on it that you can do coke off of. A lot of playing cards. They even found, I remember Nathan and a couple other guys there had went up to, there's a grocery store, and behind the grocery store they found this little like Pepsi vending machine, you know, those like fridges that you find in like pizza joints that where they put the soda. And he found one of those behind a grocery store, and it worked. So they wheeled it all the way back to his house and plugged it in his garage. And it functioned for you. It's just one of those cool little Pepsi fridges. It's fucking dope. He had one of those. It was a nice setup he had. So as this week progressed, Kevin
Man, you hate to see those ones go by.
trio, and we were going over to Nathan's garage pretty much every night. You know, now that I had the blow plug, it became a kind of every night ritual where I'd wake up around 2 or 3 p.m., hit him up for blow and maybe some bud pretty much every day, and then we'd all rendezvous and go over to Nathan's garage and play cards, drink, do some coke, and have a chill night.
This is his third
I don't want to
shot.
say chill night because coke was involved, but it was a night all right. But as things progressed, shit kind of got a little iffy. See, we started throwing in some other shit with the coke during this phase.
10 feet to
And
the cup.
reason being, my blow plug
leaning
actually
just
has
a
some
touch to
flash.
the left.
Those guys who aren't familiar with what that means, ecstasy. It's not quite MDMA like it is, but it isn't. It's ecstasy, so it's the pressed version of MDMA. Commonly cut with a lot of shit, much less, at least in my opinion, a less safe bet than just MDMA in a cap, you know? And he said he had these. He was selling these flats for really cheap. I'm going to
That's
refer
what you
to
wanted
flats.
in there for par.
So just remember, flats mean ecstasy. So
Okay, this putt
either way,
is
he's
around
saying he
6
got
feet
these
up.
flats for like 10 a pop. I'm like, well, dude, if they're 10 a pop, give me like 5 of them coke, dude. I'll split them with the homies and we'll all give them a try. So we were also grabbing coke at this point. This was maybe 4 or 5
And after
days,
that
into,
one, even
you know,
par
just grabbing
is your
off this
score.
guy every day since I got him on Snapchat. I grabbed these flats. I grabbed some more coke. Of course, we go over to Nathan's garage, Peter, Kevin, and I. And the flats are
Teed it
really
up
what
on the
made
second
things
hole
start to
of
go
this
wrong.
matchup.
Not for everybody, but for one individual. As we started taking these, it was pretty chill. They weren't very strong, and honestly, like, I had to take fucking 2 whole ones to even feel anything. They were $10 for a reason. Like, they weren't the greatest, not because they didn't say they were amazing. But they had the drug in them. I felt it. I was rolling. And so were the homies. I gave Kevin a couple of them, and I gave Peter one. Peter just wanted one. Now, what I wasn't aware of going into this is that Peter has
Ready to
schizophrenia.
let her rip here. Let's see what he
And
does.
if I remember correctly, I don't believe he was taking his meds during this binge. I was not aware of that until after events started to unfold and after I'd shared these drugs.
6-iron from
So
them.
it's not like I knew this and caused this knowingly. I genuinely was not aware this was going to be an issue until shit hit the fan.
To see what he has in store
So
for us here.
we, have a good night. We eat this Molly for the first night, go home. Next day, we repeat the same process. And Peter's still completely fine. I'm thinking nothing of it. I have no idea. I'm just like, hey, another late night. Let's get some more flats, boys. So we did. We went over the next night, did it again. Those guys listening, it's very unhealthy to do it 2 days in a row. Don't fucking do that. I mean, this whole series is unhealthy. Don't do any of this. But, I mean, especially the flats 2 days in a row. Hey, don't do that shit. But nevertheless, we do it again. And for about a week straight, we were just eating these flats. And we came to an abrupt stop with them when Peter started kind of losing
looks like
control.
It's going left to right.
And it started where he was kind of like, at first he was just acting very, almost paranoid about everything. I remember we went over to Nathan's house probably the 4th or 5th night.
If this drops, you're getting a birdie here.
Back to back to back. Literally like 4 or 5 days in a row we did these. And it's terrible for you, don't do it. But we go over to Nathan's house, and Peter lives like 2 blocks, a block or
He's
two
got a
over
4-footer to deal with here.
And we're sitting in Nathan's garage with the garage door open because it's hot out and want to get some fresh air. And Peter's freaking out. And he's like, bro, close the garage, please. Like,
this was just a 3-foot putt.
Close the fucking garage, dude. Because he was convinced that his dad was going to walk past him.
All right, let's head over to the next hole, see what we can do.
Like, at first we thought
this
he
is
was
his
kidding, because he makes a lot of
par.
these random fucking jokes. So at first we thought he was kidding, and I kind of laughed it off. But he was really persistent on it. He was like, dude, close the garage. My dad might walk past. I'm like, bro, we've been to this garage for a while now. Like, we've been coming here for a minute, and this has never been a concern until now. Like, why are you tweaking?
To deal with on
and I was trying to explain to him how it's not an issue, and it just wasn't computing with him. He just wasn't processing that this was not a problem. He's just like, dude, close the garage, bro. My dad's eating the fucked. We're not even smoking joints at this point. We're just sitting there drinking beers like some adults. Like nothing his dad would come over and beat him for. We're literally just taking some Coronas. And he's like, dude, shut that fucking garage. So eventually, we did kind of have to take him. We were just tweaking out. And we figured, hey,
and he's ready to go. Let's see how this hole goes for him.
Coach, we're like, yeah, he's just tweaking out. He needs to go to bed. So we smoked him down. We got him stoned and sent him home, right? Went back to Nathan's house. We were like, damn, dude, hey, sorry about that. I was tweaking. And chilled there for the rest of the night. Now, man, the next day is when shit really, really started to get weird between Peter and Kevin and I. Peter calls Kevin and is freaking out on the phone. He's saying that he's at the basketball court in our neighborhood, right? He's playing basketball with another kid who we're not even going to name. He's not part of the story. He's playing basketball with another kid who we know. And he's saying that there were men in black suits that were, like, there and watching him. And he had to run. And then, like, all of a sudden, he just dipped out of the basketball court. He asked if we could pick him up. So we go over there, and he's not there anymore. And he's gone. He's MIA. He's not picking up his phone. He's freaking out. He's insisting that he was the police, bro.
Didn't quite hit
black
the screen.
people watching me at the basketball court. I had to go. And we're just like, dude, what? Like, this is the most, like, nice, up, like, suburban, nice area basketball court. Like, nothing sketchy, well lit, dude. Nothing to make you uncomfortable there. This guy's freaking out.
Right, and he's dealing with a greenside rough situation.
I can't stay there, bro. Like, just come pick me up. I need to get the fuck out of here, bro. He was freaking out, like, genuinely. So, we're like, kind of a little worried at this point.
This will be
his
second shot.
There in person for it. So we were still down to link up with him later. But me and Kevin were discussing it, and we were like, yeah, dude, like, what is going on with him right now? Like, why is he acting like this? So we were kind of slowly putting the pieces together.
And from the greenside sand,
we somehow got
let's have a nice out here.
We go pick him up pretty late at night, and he opens his garage to go grab some stuff from his house, right? We're sitting in the driveway waiting for him. And he just starts picking things up in his garage and just smashing them. And then bringing random items with us into the car that we just didn't
sandy old lie.
He picks up a Nintendo 64. This hurt my heart, too. This hurt my heart to watch, because I have an N64. I love it.
And from the green side bunker, looking for an up and down here.
With the game in it. Picks it up over his head and smashes it on the garage floor.
All right,
And
let's get out of this
I'm
sand.
just jaw dropped at this point. Kevin's like, what the fuck? He smashes the N64, and then he takes
Oh,
like two
man.
tennis rackets and like a sled. I don't remember if it
And
was
now
a
this
sled or a
putt from
toboggan.
6 feet.
What's a toboggan? I'm googling what this looks like. All right, this shit looked like a toboggan pretty much. So I don't know why that word came to mind, dude. That was really on point.
All right,
But
he's got
it
this
was like a
for
sled. It was like a
birdie. Let's see
midget
what
toboggan,
happens.
dude. It was a weird ass sled. This guy, mind you, that it's June. It is June in Illinois. This guy brings out a toboggan and two tennis rackets and puts them in the backseat of his car. No tennis ball, nothing to hit with the rackets, just the rackets. Then he brings out the broken N64 and he brings out Ocarina of Time with the cords. No controllers though. And he puts them all in the back seat. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like, there's three of us in the car. I literally
And sealing your round with a putt.
he's like, bro, I'm trying to go sledding on that hill. And I'm like, dude, what hill? It's June. We're in Illinois. Like, what hill are you sledding down right now, dog? And he was really dead set about this. He was like, yeah, dude, I'll just go later, bro. Like, you guys don't have to come with. I was just going to go sledding later. I'm like, dude, what? Pardon me? Like, this guy's gonna actually kill himself sledding down like a highway or some shit, bro. Like, what? So either way, I digress. And I'm like, whatever, dude. This guy's tweaking out. And me and Kevin, excuse me, are just kind of shooting each other looks. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? So we pull up to Nathan's house, literally down the block, with the toboggan and the fucking tennis rackets and the N64 in the back seat. We get out, and me and Kevin are talking while Peter goes into the garage and talks to Nathan, and we're like, yeah, dude, don't give this guy any hard shit. Like, just let him hit the blunt and see if that calms him down. But, like, we're not giving him any more flats and any more blows. Like, we're cutting him off. That's it. Because he had to go through me to get either of those things. I was like, yeah, I don't care if he tries to pay me. We're cutting him the fuck off. This guy's not okay. So we go into Nathan's garage, and we try to keep the usage of the coach to a minimum. We didn't buy any more flats because we didn't want to have them around him. And we tried to only do blow when he was like not looking or like when we were in our car doing something. He was like taking a piss or something. So we were mainly just kind of smoking and sipping some Ronas. And, you know, he seemed like barely okay, I guess, for his standard, but he was just talking fast as hell all night. And that was the weird thing. As he got like worse and like started tweaking harder, he started talking faster. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's like the paranoia part of it, but like it got to the point where like he would just spit out sentences like a fucking light machine gun, dude. Like he just spray sentences, dude. It was unbelievable. But nevertheless, finally he just goes MIA. The next day, literally the next day after he brought all that shit out, he just goes completely MIA. And we don't hear from him or anyone related to him, anyone knows anything about him, for a couple days, until his brother calls up Kevin off his phone and says not to hit him up anymore and that he's in the hospital. I didn't get that loyalty. I just got blocked. I found out that I texted him after Kevin got that phone call asking if he was alright, and my shit just never delivered. So I just got blocked. So I don't really know what happened on that end, but shit got ugly. And we found out via his brother that he had schizophrenia because we didn't know why the fuck he was in the hospital until he told us. So shit hit the fan pretty quick, to say the least, and we didn't hear from him. I literally haven't spoken to this guy since. I know that he's out of the hospital. I don't know anything else. That's literally all I know. I haven't spoken to him since this incident. But shit literally just hit the fan right in front of me and Kevin's eyes. And after Peter kind of had his exodus from the group, you know, he left the group and, you know, cut us all off or did whatever he had to do, which I'm not blaming him, whatever. You know, once he left, shit kind of plateaued a little bit, where it was kind of the repeat of me and Kevin going over to Nathan's garage, drinking, doing some blow, and not really doing a ton more flats until we got our hands on a new plug. And that's where I'm going to leave it to the next episode. Because I got my hands on a plug who was not a blow plug. We still had the blow plug. But this guy served a lot of psychedelics of very high quality. And those were mixed in. We're going to get to that in the next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like if you did. Thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and download Dosh in the description below. Thank you guys for watching.
And that'll end up in the first cut, just barely, too. All right, interested to see what you have in store for us here.
Alright, fuckers, listen. There's no intro. Code Chronicles 3, welcome. Here it is. Now listen. This episode, I was going to make this a separate video out of the series, but like this was a Code Chronicles. So I felt that this event was so special that I had to just put it in the series as its own episode. It's just one specific event that occurred. Alright? This is very, very special here. I hope you all enjoy. There's nothing I have to say in the intro except for one thing. Why the hell do I only have 7,000
Well, looks like you're a bit off on
Twitter,
that approach.
and yet I have like
All right, let's see what he
22K on
does
Instagram?
on this
Why
one.
are y'all not tweeting? Reacted like the cringe gif. If you guys prefer this sound, this is my old mic. I still have the thing in my Chronicles 3. I posted about this on Instagram, and I'm gonna give some backstory.
Yeah, he
There's a
does
woman who
not
we're gonna
want
call.
this one to roll off into the rough.
Let's call her Kathy. Kathy's a young woman who I'd had relations with one time before, way back in January. Completely different story. I never made a video on this, so this isn't something I'll go into much detail on because it's personal. But to say less, I trusted this girl. I'd known her since the beginning of high school. I banged her. It was no big deal. So her hitting me up and, this night unfolding was not unusual. I just want to, say that in advance so you guys understand. The other thing I want to say is at the beginning of this cocaine binge, I had a friend who had his hands on a 22 revolver, and he had court that week and did not have money for the court fees. So he sold me the revolver. In this episode, that got stolen. That is why this is its own episode. The only reason this exists is because I don't fucking have to think anymore, so I'm able to tell the story. If that didn't happen, y'all wouldn't be hearing this shit. So with that being said, let's dive into it. It was a nice evening, middle of the cocaine binge. It was like early mid-July. No. Kathy hits me up, and I talked to this girl every now and then. Like I said, I banged her one time before. There was, nothing crazy. Like, she was just, like, I trusted her at least. Like, I'd known her for long enough to, like, invite her to my home and not be like, oh, she gonna look at my drawers for money? Like, I felt comfortable with her.
Right,
so she hits me up. She's like, hey, I'm coming back. Because she goes to school in a different area, right? She's like, hey, I'm coming back, home tonight. What do you want? And I'm like, oh, shit. Absolutely nothing. I'm just going to be smoking some dope, maybe doing some blow. I want to come through. She's like, yeah, for sure. So
he's got an insanely long putt to contend with here. I don't even know what to say about it other than let's just watch and see what he does.
I clean up a little bit. I freshen up, make sure I'm ready to rumble. And, I try to be a gym. I even clean. I clean my basement because, that's where,
looks like he's put it on a good line.
But either way.
Oh, my,
so,
and he makes it.
What I didn't know at the time is she had a boyfriend.
Staring this one down,
and
trying to save his par.
That was the reasoning that I heard why she did this. Because she gave the 22 to him. That's what I heard. But either way, she comes over around like 10:30 or like 11 o'clock, right? I want to say it was like 10:30. It was fairly late, though. I had already drank a little bit. I'd done a large amount of cocaine, and I was pretty stoned. So, she comes over.
Right,
she doesn't park in my driveway, which I found a little odd. I didn't know a large amount
and that
of
will do.
And for around like 10:30.
You are currently 2 over.
O'clock, right? I want to say it was like 10:30. It was fairly late. She comes over. She doesn't park in my driveway, which I found a little odd. I didn't know where the fuck her car was because how my house is laid out.
Let's see how he does on this hole.
I'm not like on the street. Like it's almost like apartment style. Like my driveway is like a separate thing. It's not like just directly attached to the street. If that makes sense. So like her not parking her car in the driveway, there's no parking in the street. Like, there's a sign that said she had ticketed.
All right,
so
bombs
I was like, where the fuck did she park? Like, how did she even get here? But I didn't think anything of it because I was fucked up, right? So I see her, I'm like, what's up? Give her a hug. And we're just chatting. Everything's completely normal. She's fully aware that I had this 22. I talked to her about it before, because like I said, I've known this girl for a long time. We've been good friends. And this is a girl who I haven't referred to before in many videos, so if y'all think it may be a certain character you know of, it's honestly probably not. I think I've maybe only talked about this person one or two times in a very long time ago. But either way, so Kathy pulls up, we're chatting. This is in my basement. If y'all watch my live streams, you've seen my basement. There's, I've got a nice little television, a nice table, and my computer down here and a couch. So we're chatting, having a good time. I'm not going to get too specific on the sex part because I made this kind of video time at 14.
Well, that was never going to be good.
All right, I've got in 20. I'm not going to tell you all how my dick works. All right. Either way, the act was engaged, and good time, good enough time, whatever. I mean, I was geeked, so I'll admit I didn't finish, but what the fuck ever. It was a good enough time, and I didn't care.
Come on, ball. I don't know if you have enough on it.
After we're done, we're chatting.
Okay, I classify this under the safe shot category. Way to get out of that bunker.
30, 45 minutes,
it wasn't even an hour.
Like, it was definitely like we're both intoxicated, link up and then go home kind of thing, Like, that's just kind of the premise I'd seen, or, like, just the vibe of it, right? So, after the events unfold, per se, she asks for a drink, right? And I'm like, of course, that's a fucking good idea. I'd probably go get one anyways, Like, you gotta get a glass of water for Shorty after you dick her. If you don't do that, you're a fucking dickhead, and you just, or a towel. Glass of water and a towel. If you don't do either of those things, you're a virgin, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. But either way, that's not the point, alright? The point is, that this woman asked me to get upstairs and get her a glass of water, right? I don't have, like, a fridge or any, like, water bottles in my basement. I have a mini fridge, but I had no water in it. I just had beer. So, I go upstairs in my fucking boxers. She's,
looks like he's put on a good line here.
I believe she was dressed in anything except her underwear.
And he can't
like,
get it to go in the end.
Back on.
Here we
and
go,
I
this
go
one for
upstairs, grab a couple glasses. I grab her a glass of water. Myself, I had that fucking, that, like, powder, like, nipped in iced tea shit that you could put in water, that gas shit. I had that. So, of course, I poured up a glass of that shit. And I hear my door open. Now, if you guys are familiar with how my, place is laid out, if you guys have seen my live streams, my door's right behind me in the basement to my garage, right? And when she pulled up, I just left the garage open because, I'm not in, like, a bad area. No one's running into my house. And I don't even see a car.
Flew right by the hole.
Whatever. So,
from here, he's got quite a little bit of real estate to cover to make this putt. I don't know about it.
I hear that door open, and at first, I'm still fucked up, so I think, like, oh, she grabbed something out of her car. And as it was
looks like he started this one out right.
Oh, and he gets it to go.
About this because, it's like, oh my God, like, I'll get to that.
This one's 6 feet away.
I think about it, and I'm like, wait. Where she didn't even, like, what? Like, she can't be going to her car. She was just butt ass naked. She just asked for water. Where could she be going? But I still ignored it for long enough where I didn't think anything of it, right? So I come back downstairs to do 2 glasses and then fucking boxes. And she's not there.
Right, 2 over.
So I put the glasses down. I have a t-shirt sitting on the table. I toss the t-shirt on and put on my slides and fucking walk out there. No car. Like, I don't know where the fuck she parked. I don't know where she went. But what happened was, I didn't realize anything was missing at first, right? I didn't notice she took anything. It wasn't until I came back inside, after going outside, trying to see, like, did she go to her car? Because, like, I was so, like,
and let's
what?
see
like,
how this tee shot
like, what is going on? I was so confused, right? So, I come back inside. If you guys have seen my Instagram posts, if you don't follow me, you're laughing. You should know that I have one of those Supreme panty packs, right? I had 2 of them. Now I have 1. But either way, I had 2 of them at the
You're
time.
just 2 strokes off the lead on this final hole.
On my desk, to the right of where I'm sitting right now, in my basement. On her way out, they're right next to the door. She grabs one of the bags, and it happened to be the bag with a ton of food in it. The reason that I try to process how she
We'll get it back.
Knew. But at the same time, I feel like it's kind of common sense, because I wore that thing fairly often and put a lot of drugs in that thing. And she saw me, like, opening it quite often. So she may not have even known that there was a 22 in there, but nevertheless, she grabs the fanny, just one of them, not both for some reason, and goes, right? I come back in, realize that, start hitting her up. She's blocking me on pretty much everything. And I'm like, listen, the one thing she has blocked me on Twitter, at the end of her, I'm like, listen, you can literally just give me back the strap. I have 2 of the fanny shorts.
Yeah, that'll work.
I don't really care. Fanny for fanny's a fair trade, right? I got
And
her
from here,
fanny,
he's got
she took my fanny,
230
fair
yards to
fucking
the
trade,
pin
whatever.
or somewhere
That's
thereabouts.
Cool. But she wasn't down to give it back. And I'm like, alright, whatever. Because she had one issue. With the 22 revolver, there's a little firing pin. And in order to get the clip out of it,
And this is your third shot.
the little button and pull the firing pin out, right? The firing pin was in my desk and not in the fanny pack. Only the actual gun with the clip and 5 rounds that were loaded in the fanny pack. She didn't get any extra rounds. I had all the rest of the ammo. I had hollow tips, but pardon my voice, but oh my god, I had hollow, but it was a 22. It was like a squirrel shooter. Like, if you guys don't know what I'm referring to, if you don't know much about weapons, this is like the least harmful gun you could fucking purchase, dude. I don't even think I could kill a dog with one shot, dude. Like, like for real. I didn't like ride around with this thing. I just had it at home, just in case. You know, if someone breaks into my house, at least I got a little hang, a little, make an ankle hurt or something. But either way, let me have it on Twitter, and she's not having it. So she blocks the fuck out.
Let's see how he gets out of this one.
I'm blown, right? I kind of chalk it up to like, all right, it was an expensive hooker, right? Like that's what I kind of chalked it up to. Just, I guess I could consider it a really packed hooker because she took a fucking Supreme
30
pack
feet to go.
that had my strap in it.
And this one looks like it's going uphill and to the right.
I mean, she probably doesn't know it, but like still didn't have the firing pin. And also,
well done from there. Maybe next one will drop.
But
and will it
nevertheless,
drop? He needs
I
this
never
to
heard
go
from this
to
bitch again.
save par.
Vanished.
Breaking to the left, I think.
I don't really know where the fuck she went. I've heard things. People have asked me about the scenario and heard about it. So clearly she's been talking about it. And for what people have been telling me, as far as I know, she gave it to her boyfriend because he is the friendliest way to put it, the kind of guy who would walk around with that. So apparently not a very good guy. But either way, that shit
and
fucking
he's got
sucked.
around 4 feet to go here.
Time, but nevertheless, honestly, it was kind of hilarious. And every time I tell this story to my friends, who went to this point and I told it to you guys, they're fucking back. This is like one of my favorite stories. Like,
all right, and as this one ends, it'll be 2 over for you.
She came to my house.
All right, that's just about it for me. Hopefully we'll see you back here real soon. See you next time.
Like she made the conscious decision to hold on to allow portion really wild. So, it's like shit, man. What a fucking evening. But either way, that's all I have for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay. My birthday event is honestly fucking dope. If you guys enjoyed this video, drop a like and it helps you guys out. Peace. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Goblin, and today we are coming in with Coach Chronicles episode 4. Hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like. Also, let me know if you guys like gameplay or not. Excuse me. It's a little bit of Yakuza 3 on the PlayStation 4, part of the Yakuza Remastered collection. If y'all are looking for a game to go buy on your PlayStation, cop this shit, man. I can't plug this game enough. It's so underrated, it pisses me off. Every time I talk about this game, motherfuckers are like, what game is that, bro? What? Man, that sounds stupid. Shut up, bro. Go buy Yakuza right now. Y'all are tweaking. If you own a PlayStation, buy this game. It's fun as fuck. But either way, also, we're back on the normal mic. Let me know if this sounds better than my previous 2 videos. In the last 2, I busted out the old school mic just to see which one you guys like better, and it seemed kind of 50-50. So let me know if you guys want me to continue with this mic, maybe switch in between. You know, we'll do some optimization. But either way, hope you guys enjoy. Let's dive right into it. So, for those of you guys who have missed Code Chronicles 3, the reason I say this being I know for a fact it did not hit sub boxes and didn't send out notifications for many people. So for those of you guys who missed it, make sure you go watch that episode to be caught up on what I'm talking about. A lot of you guys did. I know for a fact, because I still am getting tons of comments asking for Code Chronicles 3 when it's already out. This is part 4. So either way, go watch that. Make sure you have notifications on. Let's dive right into it. So, Coke Chronicles 4. Now, following the events of Coke Chronicles 3, where I got my fanny pack stolen with a gun in it, I kind of made that a separate episode because it was such a significant event. But now we're back on track with things, right? Peter had just gotten out of the hospital and we're no longer talking to him. I just got my fanny pack stolen with. In terms of everything else, everything else is still the same time period, still chronological. We're just continuing where we left off, essentially, in episode 2. And episode 3 was just kind of its own special thing, if that makes sense. So now at this point, it's about the beginning of July, right? And I'm at the point where I'm looking at my bank statements and shit and going hard in the month of June, realizing how much I'm spending. And instead of me being a smart, responsible individual and saying, wow, I've spent so much, let's stop doing it, I say, wow, I've spent so much, let's start selling it. So, me being the fucking dumbass I am, I hit up my plug, right? I hit up my man, I'm like, yo, bro, how much for a bigger bag? He's like, what you mean? I'm like, what you do, like a half ounce for, right? Because I just gotten my paycheck in, and I'm like, fuck it. Let's grab a big old bag and make sure that we can at least try to minimize the expenses of this bandy, right? Because I looked at my bank statement, and I'm not telling you guys this number to flex or anything like that. I'm telling you guys this number to make you realize how fucked up coke addiction is.
I think you might be short out of the sand.
I looked at my bank statement.
Oh, you didn't hit this one, but that's okay.
In cash withdrawals in the month of June.
All right, this one's about $175 from the pin.
Cash withdrawals. Now, that doesn't mean it's all coke. That was, all drug transactions as a whole. But I don't even average a grand a month in those withdrawals. Because normally I buy a zip, and there I am. That's my week, That's typically what I do. Or less than that. It just depends. But, I'm usually not withdrawing 5 fucking racks in cash a month, dude. That's ridiculous. That's absurd. And, I'm not going to go any further in the financial details, but listen, that hurt, all right? That hurt. So I see that bank statement, and I'm like, damn, bro, it's time to start selling. So I hit up my plug, and I'm like, let me grab that file. I'm not going to disclose prices. Got a lot of IRLs who, don't need to know that information in case they get that price themselves. We can go find out. But nevertheless, he folds up, shows me that half bag.
Okay, he's setting up for birdie here. Let's see what happens.
And I was a little concerned about making him nervous, taking the huge jump from just buying grams and 8 balls all the way to
I think he's put it on a good line.
But when they threw it, hop in the car, hands in the money, counted out in front of him, gave him the best build I could,
6 feet to go here.
Fit in there, and sent him on his merry way. Ever since this day, this is what I viewed as a turning point. You started to view me as a real cussy, You started to really give me the feels and shit, always come serve me, I really started to feel like cussy, as an OG customer to this stuff.
Ooh, that's too bad.
So,
all right, here we go. Give a tap, and we'll head on to the next.
Everything's great. And this half came in 2 rocks. He gave me 2 quad rocks, and it was the most beautiful
and 2 strokes above par
I've ever seen in my life. When I say beauty, I mean beauty. I mean rule-worthy. I don't think I could have asked him for better, bro. If he, opened this bag and was like, yeah, bro, just handpick your half ounce. I don't think I could have hand-selected anything better. This guy gave me the perfect pieces with the scales on them. Just fucking beautiful, dude. And I was so happy. I was like, bet. So as soon as I grabbed this, I started hitting people up. I'm hitting up everyone I know. I'm like, yo, y'all need some bags.
Oh, let's see what you can do on this one.
The female friend of mine who I mentioned in the first episode, the name that we gave her is slipping my mind. I know it started with an A. We're just going to call her Ashley. I don't know if that's correct or not. If it is, then lucky me. But nevertheless, I hit up Ashley, and she's at a function with a bunch of other heads, right? She's like, yo, we need some to fly through. She's with a bunch of other heads. I'm expecting a big
approach is heading right at the pin. Fingers crossed for a nice up and down out of this greenside bunker.
Leave the other quad at home and start cruising over there, right? And I'm geeked the fuck up the entire time. Before I even leave my house, I'm already wearing lines. On the way there, I'm rubbing shit at my guns at the red light. I'm at the point where I'm talking, I was so in the flow that I couldn't make car trips without rubbing blow.
Okay, greenside sand. Let's see what you have.
15 minutes, I'd be rubbing blow my guns at the red light. I'm not kidding. It was ridiculous. But nevertheless, I cruise over to Ashley, right? I pull up his function. I've never been to this.
Okay, let's get out of this bunker.
We're going to call him Ben. And Ben is someone who's never been in my stories. I've known of him and spoken to him a couple times, but I don't think I've ever been to his house prior to this trip.
All right, grab that putter. Let's get to work here.
One of those functions where I
Okay,
don't know
let's check it out. He's got this for the birdie.
Really,
This one seems to be tilting left to right.
And this guy's backyard is huge. We're all chilling in his backyard in this like little like storage shed, which I found a little odd, but it was whatever. It was like the summer. Like y'all really couldn't just chill outside. But they're in this little wood storage shed. And I go in this shed. Ashley comes out to like flag me down because it was pitch black on the street. Comes out, leads me around back. I walk into the shed, and it's just heads on heads. There's like 8 people piled into this little shed. And this shed, like max capacity, was meant to hold like 4 people. So you can imagine it was a little musty in here. No air conditioning, of course. It's literally just a wood fucking shed with no insulation. In the middle of July. Like, it was a musty scenario. I walk in there, set my scale down. They were very nice. They actually saved me a seat next to the table so I could, scale next to the table.
And if you can sink this, we'll have a triple bogey on our scorecard.
I'm chilling, talking to all them doing some
All right, let's see how this next hole's playing.
I'm like, all right.
And sitting at 5 over par for the day.
Now, I'm like, hold up. Is that all you guys are getting from me? So, like, I'm running deals with going to take it back. She's like, yeah, just a grand for me.
This one looks pretty good. Should be in the fairway.
I'm like, what? I said, pardon? My gas mileage
all right,
good
bombs away. Let's hit that fairway.
All right? My car gets like 10 miles a gallon. And I have to put premium in. We don't use that kind of fuel for half grand. All right? So I was like,
oh man, that was just right.
I'm not trying to serve less than a grand. So throw on the grand and make it worth it for you guys.
Setting up around 130 yards.
I show them the shit.
Maybe you want to dial a little backspin in here. This is a down slope that could be dangerous around the pin.
Take a gander. They're sniffing the shit. They're like, oh, dude, smells great. I convinced them to go for the whole grand, excuse me. They run it for 80.
Missed the green on that approach.
Right? I packed them a little fat on the grand, gave them like probably an extra line or 2 worth just to get them right. Ashley threw me the serve after all. She's a good friend. And we're all chilling there, doing blow, smoking, having a good time. I decide, there's nowhere else really worth me going. I had a couple other people hitting me up for grands and half grands, but I figured there was enough heads in this shed that they were going to blow through that grand really fast because they were splitting it like 4 or 5 ways, and they were going to buy some more, right? Knowing that, I knew that was going to happen. So we chill out a little longer. There's like a couple familiar faces in this shed. Like, Ashley wasn't the only familiar face. I also pulled up with Kevin. He was there.
And let's see how he gets out of this one.
There's a couple other people who have been in previous stories here, but the majority of the people were people I've either never met or haven't been in these videos right now.
Okay, let's see if he can get up and down from here.
I'm serving this shit, and I'm chilling. I'm geeking. I'm smoking, tapping the blunt that they rolled. I had some weed on me as well. There was a guy in there.
This is definitely in the sand. Let's see what goes down for him.
For some reason, he had it bagged up in 10 seconds, which I don't really know why. He had it bagged up in these little, like, plastic baggy 10 seconds. And he was trying to, like, trade me some.
Well, let's see how he does here from the green side bunker.
Like, how much weed is in each of those? And he's like, oh, like, about a gram. And I'm like, all right, give me, like... Because here's the thing. When people trade me bud for blow, I tax. Because I don't go off of the street value of the weed. I don't go off of what they charge me for the weed. My brain works where I go off of what I estimate they paid for the bud. And I'm estimating that this guy paid probably $5 a gram. Because it wasn't anything great. It was pretty mid-weed. It was pretty average. So I was like, all right, give me 4 grams. I'll throw you like a 0.2, maybe a quarter gram. We'll see, right? He's like, all right. He's trying to talk me up a little bit. He's like, what about 3? I'm like, bro, 4. You're making a 4 bag. He was trying to, like, give me an 8 and, like, open one of the baggies. I'm like, bro, if you open one of those fucking plastic baggies and pull a half gram out of that, so help me God, I'm going to spit on your quarter gram.
All right,
and
setting
like,
up
all right, man,
6 feet from the cup.
And he gives me the 4 baggies. I give him his little over a 0.2. It wasn't quite a quarter gram, but wasn't a 0.2 either. It was in between, like a 0.23. Sent him on his merry way. Of course, me being the predictor I am, the genius, lo and behold, not even 30 minutes into being there, their gram is gone. Their gram is gone and they want more. Of course, I hook it up. They ask for a little discount for buying another one. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'll get it to you guys for 70, but I don't really know why we didn't just buy 2
This
grams.
putt's around 5 feet away.
Cheaper, So they're like, oh, yeah, we should have listened, whatever. And I'm saying now, I'm like, yo, if you guys give me the extra money, like, to make it up, like, make up for it, I'll charge you 8-ball rate right now. Like, if you guys give me the majority of the money, because what I was charging for 8 balls was
Well,
240
I had a good
250
time
bucks. It
after
depended,
today.
right? Sounds a little
I
taxed,
am
but this shit was
happy that you
way.
brought
This
me
was
along
the
for the
best
ride,
blow I could get my
and
hands
hopefully
on
we'll
in the
see you
state.
real soon.
100%. Like, genuinely best blow I've ever done. So I'm telling these guys, I'm like, yo, throw me like 240 for the 8 ball. I got you. You guys already gave me 80, so just give me 160 more, and I got you. They're like, nah, man, we'll just get the other gram. I'm like, you guys are gonna be back in like 3 hours, but all right. They buy another gram. I give it to them for 70 and pack it fatter, just because, hey, you got to get your name in the door. You got to get your name out there when you just start plugging, right? Let them know, hey, that Goblin guy, hey, he packed the blow bags fat. That's what we want from you. Without stealing my plug business, of course. I made sure to serve people that my plug definitely doesn't serve, because I was undercutting his prices. So I made sure to only bust peace to people he wasn't. But either way, so, I'm serving these guys. It's all going well. They grab their other gram. I finally did, right? I've been there for like an hour and a half at this point, smoked a couple blinds, done some blow, chatted with everyone in there. So me and Kevin up and get out of there, right? Kevin's pretty much accompanying me throughout the entire of this series. Like, with the exception of episode 3, pretty much every episode he's here, even if I don't say it, for the most part. Unless it's like obvious that he couldn't be there, He was there for pretty much all of it. So me and Kevin hop back in my whip, we dip out. And they're like the complete opposite direction where they were located of like my house, Kevin's house, and anything that we were doing. So we hop back in my car, skirt back off, right? Go back towards Kevin's crib. We're trying to find some moves, and we can't find shit to do. So we decide we're just going to park up, do some blow in my whip, smoke some dope, and hit the crib, right? So we do some blow in my whip, we smoke some dope in the classic smoke spot that we found, which is by this like storage unit place. And it's like right next to this lake. And there's this parking lot that's like visible from a grocery store, very visible. But on this side behind one of the dumpsters, there's no lights for some reason. And there's no angle you can see it from any street. Like the only place you can see it from is a storage building, which at midnight, who the fuck is in there watching for us, Who's sitting in the goddamn U-Haul storage going, man, better watch out for those stoners, I tell you. Nobody. So it's a safe spot. So me and Kevin are rolling up, chilling, having a good time here, just chatting. I dropped him back off, right? And pretty much the rest of the week is just kind of this cycle where we didn't really have a chill spot, and we kind of went nomad way. And I was just busting peas to support my habits, right? Out of that half ounce, I believe I gave myself about 4 grams, maybe an 8-ball, a little less than that, of stuff that I set aside to do myself. And I said, all right, this other 10 grams or so, it's got to get flipped, right? I got to flip it. I got to bare minimum, like, try to break as close to even as possible, or at least get cheaper prices than I'd pay for the amount I'm doing, right? So I flipped it, did what I could, made my money, and pretty much the entire week was just living the nomad life while off a bunch of cocaine, We hit Chick-fil-A probably 6 days out of the 7 because it was just on the way between all these serves. And I just gave him blow for riding along with me. It worked out pretty well. Kevin would occasionally cop some off me every here and there, but I just kind of get him beats because that's the homie. And shit worked out pretty well, This entire week was not extremely notable besides the money made. And it wasn't even profit. I just broke even so doing so. However, after my first or second re-up of grabbing these bigger bags, I decided to cut it out because I just wasn't comfortable with the risk. I was not comfortable riding around with a half ounce or a quad or an 8-ball, excuse me. I wasn't comfortable having that amount, And I also didn't want to become known as the blow plug. Like, I wanted people to know they could hit me up for now if they needed blow, just for a quick pee. But I didn't want to become known as the blow man. That's a bad path to go down most of the time. You got to be careful with that. So I kind of tried to balance it. I think I did a fine enough job, Because after the week was over, I made my money. Told the people who kept hitting me up, hey, I'm not serving anymore, but, I can get you some if you need it. Just let me know. And that's pretty much how it worked out. It was just mainly kind of trying to break even week. And after this week, I'd had enough breaking even where I was cool with kind of dipping into the pockets again. And, attempting, at least my first attempt, to slow down on flow. Which I'll get to in the next episode, because we're already 16 motherfucking minutes in. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Drop a like if you did. Let me know in the comments if you guys are ready for part 5. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with Coke Chronicles Part 5. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you do. We're going to skip all the shindiggity, all the shebang, and just get right the fuck into it. So let's dive right into it. Now, in the last episode, Coke Chronicles Part 4, we left off right after I finished selling Coke to try to recoup some of my lost money that I've been blowing all summer long. At this point, we're past that stage. We're now discussing the psychedelic plug that I had while I was still doing Coke. So there's a guy who we're gonna call him Walter. Walter is a guy who I met through Nathan. If you guys remember, in I believe it was episode 2, we mentioned going to Nathan's garage a lot. Nathan put me on with Walter and gave me the plug, right? Gave me a Snapchat, made sure it was cool for me to add him. So I hit him up on Snapchat, and all I knew that he had at this point was Molly, right? That's all I knew that he had, nothing else. I hit him up, I'm like, yo, dude, let me get my hands on some Molly. I just want a gram, right? He's like, all right, for sure, let me know where you at. I'll come serve, right? He said it's only 70. I'm like, all right, that's a pretty good price around here for a gram of Molly. I know I'm going to get a bunch of people from Europe in the comments saying, wow, you Americans are fucking idiots. Over here in fucking Norway, we get it for a penny a gram, you fucking idiot. Well, you know what? Congratulations. And you're fucking lucky, because I don't. But either way, nevertheless, he's like, yeah, dude, just send me your address, I'll pull up. So he pulls up, I grab the first gram off him, and, for the majority of the first, week or two of me knowing this plug, me knowing Walter, it was just me grabbing, grams, half grams, or having people throw in with me to grab bags. I was never grabbing more than a gram at a time at first, right? Because I didn't know what other stuff he had or the limits that he would go to, right? I didn't want to seem like I was buying a ton at a time, but at the same time, I was buying nearly a gram a day because me and my friends would all just throw in together and each eat a 0.3 every day, right? So throughout the entire day, we'd eat a 0.15, twice a day just to kind of parachute a little bit and enjoy it, right? And we were combining the cocaine binge, Kevin and myself and a couple other friends I'm going to get to later in this episode. We're combining our cocaine binge with a Molly binge. And this is where shit really got dangerous and really got out of pocket. Because we're now doing Coke and Molly lines at a kid who we're going to call, oh man, I know I gave him a name in episode 2. I mentioned him going to Nathan's house, but I don't remember what name I gave him. It wasn't Peter, it was a different guy. We're just going to call him Steven. Steven's a good friend of mine, been around a lot, and he lives in an apartment where his mom's almost never home. So his place is the spot, right? So me and Kevin hit up Steven because Nathan wasn't available at this point, and soon after this episode, we kind of stopped fucking with Nathan anyways, but we'll get to that later on. Nevertheless, we hit up Steven, and me and Kevin are like, yo, dude, we got Blow and Molly, let's link. Steven's like, hell yeah, dude, come through, I got drinks, right? At this point, Steven's the only guy who's 21. Kevin wasn't 21 yet, and I'm not still 21 at this point. So we slide over to Steve's, he's got some beers, I've got some Molly and some Coke, and we start mixing up Molly and Coke lines, right? And let me tell you, snorting Molly is not a pleasurable experience, but mixing it with Coke kind of numbs out the pain of it a little bit. It evens it out a little bit to make it more tolerable. And as much as I discourage doing this and remind you all how dangerous this is, those of you who have done this activity before know that it's lit. It's something alright. But either way, don't fucking do this at home. We're sitting there railing through Molly and Coke lines and just get beat as fuck and rolling. I'm talking not as hard as we would have been if we just ate the Molly, but that wasn't the point. We weren't trying to roll as hard as we could. We were just trying to have the experience of doing these Molly and Coke lines and get drunk as shit. And drinking off this combo is not smart, guys, especially. Mixing all these drugs together is a terrible idea, but drinking off it is what made it especially risky. So, guys, don't do this shit at home. Don't follow my footsteps. But nevertheless, me, Kevin, and Steven are fucked up for this probably the entire first week. All we did was just go to Steven's house, do Molly and Coke lines and drink, and repeat the process. It got to the point where we were rolling so hard that we decided playing Monopoly was going to be fucking lit. And Steven had the, anniversary silver box Monopoly. And for those of you guys who have me on Snapchat, you might have seen me post our Monopoly games a few times over the summer. We were just banging out the fucking Monopoly, dude. Every night I was there for a week straight. We would just do a fuckload of Coke and Molly and get super shit-faced and feel really good and play fucking Monopoly until 4 in the morning every single night. It was so fun, dude. And for some reason, Steven lost first every time, no matter what. It was usually just us three. Sometimes there would be some ladies over, and hey, they join us too, because hey, listen, we're some nice gentlemen. We ain't trying to fuck, ladies. We just want to play Monopoly Anniversary Edition. So if y'all shorties are down for that, DM me, because I just want to play Monopoly Anniversary. I'm not trying to fuck. But either way, us being the gentlemen we are, if we have the ladies over, of course we invite them to play some Monopoly Anniversary. So at one point, I think our biggest game was like 5 people, but it was never less than 3. It was almost always me, Kevin, and Steven. And it was a jolly old time. Now, towards the end of this first week or two of us doing this, I decided that I kind of wanted to step it up with the psych plug, because this phase was becoming more psychedelic focused, or more Molly focused. I don't want to say psych focused, but more Molly focused and like coke focused towards the second week of me really being in touch with this Molly plug. So I reach out to him, and I'm like, yo, dude, what kind of prices you do, or like what kind of shit you have besides Molly? Like, let me know what you do in bulk and like pricing and stuff like that. And he's like, oh, I have acid and I have ketamine, right? And I can get my hands on shrooms. I'm like, oh, ketamine. I haven't done that in a long time, but I like it. And don't do it at home, kid. Ketamine's fucked up. But I like the shit. So I'm talking to him about it, and he's like, yeah, dude, I could probably get it shipped in, and let me see what I can do. Just give me a week or two. And I'm like, bet, bro. If you ever get some K in, let me know. Because at this point, I was just like, yo, I'll do any fucking drug I can touch, right? Same thing with the acid. I asked him about that. He's like, yeah, I can get that in too. Right now, all I got is Molly and a little bit of shrooms. Shrooms I wasn't super interested in. Shrooms, so not literally, but damn near. Shrooms I wasn't super curious about, so I just stuck to the Molly. Now, through me talking to this guy and just having casual conversation, I came to find out that he worked at I'm not trying to give out too much info, but he worked at an electronics shop, right? And he knew a lot about repairing phones and repairing electronics and stuff like that. So as we were talking about what each of us do for a living, I was like, oh, I do, gaming stuff. And he was saying, oh, I do electronics. He's like, yeah, dude, I take trades. Like, if you ever want to sell a phone or something like that, just let me know, dude. We could trade. And I'm thinking, I'm like, huh, okay, for sure. I had this busted iPhone X, right? The screen was cracked, almost completely inoperable, right? So I replaced it with a 7 Plus. I downgraded to save some money, and fuck it, I like the 7 Plus better anyways, I downgraded back to the 7 Plus, but still kept that iPhone X. I just paid it off. It was on the lease, but I just bought it, just paid it off instead of returning it, right? So either way, I have this iPhone, and I hit up another friend of mine who I know who also does phone repairs. He doesn't work at like an electronics shop. This guy does a completely different occupation, but he just happens to be really good with fixing phones. So I hit him up, and I'm like, yo, dude, how much would it cost me to get the front and back panel of this iPhone X fixed? He gives me OEM prices. He shows me the part prices and says yeah, dude, I'm not going to charge you much over the part prices. I've known you for a while. Just let me know. So I'm like, bet, dude, that's dope. So I'm thinking in my head, and I'm trying to do the math. I'm like, all right, if I can get this iPhone X fixed for, less than the profit I would get off of whatever I'm selling it for or trading it for with Walter, then this should be a good come up, right? Because I figured in the current state of the iPhone, barely, it didn't even work. I couldn't get any more than $200 for it. I was getting it fixed, and the price was very, very reasonable. So I'm thinking yo, if I get this thing completely brand new working condition, fixed and everything, I should be able to get a nice amount of Molly for this fucking phone, right? So, of course, I go get it fixed. Then I hit up my boy Walter, right? The fixing process takes about a week, a little less than that. He's just doing it out of his house. He doesn't do it for a living. Then I hit up Walter, and I figured I wouldn't go through Walter to get it fixed because then he would know it was fixed. Maybe, I could have him not know it got fixed and have him think it was just regular parts, and he'd pay a higher price. I didn't know if that was going to impact the price or not, but I didn't want it to, so whatever. So then I hit up Walter, and I'm like, yo, dude, I got an iPhone X, fucking 128 gigs, I think it was. Don't fucking crucify me if I'm wrong, but I don't know how any of y'all would even know if I am, so fuck you. But nevertheless, either way, I had an iPhone X 128 gigs. I believe it was the black, or the space gray or some shit. It was dark, either way. Hit him up, I'm like, yo, dude, how much would you offer me this? And he's like, what do you want? I was like, preferably all Molly, if possible. And we're negotiating a little bit. He lowballs pretty hard at first. He starts off with an 8. I'm like, no, buddy, no. We are negotiating, my man. And I know what he pays for this shit. But I also know that this guy, through talking to him, I gather that he has a similar mentality as me when it comes to bartering, right? He started very low, I started very high, and we just kind of got to our settling point. It wasn't exactly what I was hoping to get, but I got over $6,000. So I was pretty happy with it, right? I was hoping to get a little more, but nevertheless, I was looking on eBay and the phone that I had was going for in the 700s. I figured if I could save the hassle of shipping it, finding a buyer, waiting a month to get my money from eBay, it would be worth losing $50 to $100, right? Just to get it off my hands quick. Because if I took it to like a pawn shop, it'd give me like $400. So this could be a potential come up. And it did end up working out in my favor. He bought the phone, handed me the Molly, of course in the fucking notebook paper. This guy was well known for using notebook paper instead of bags for some reason for his Molly, and only his Molly. But nevertheless, the Molly was great every time. So no one ever really complained. So we make this little trade, and now I'm sitting here with damn near a quad of Molly, and I'm like, oh shit, dude. Like, this is lit. Like, this is awesome. So I hit up all the homies, and I'm like, boys, I'm the plug now. I'm like, boys, hit my fucking line. Shop with me. Until this $6,000 is gone, fuck with me. Then me going back to Walter, but till then, fuck with me. So, Steven's hitting me up. Kevin's hitting me up, Nathan's hitting me up, all the homies are hitting me up, buying Molly off me, and everything's going according to plan. And it's all going great, and I don't hit up Walter for a little while, because I didn't need to. I was sitting on $6,000. Now, it took me about a week to get through the $6,000, because all the homies were just buying them little 0.2 doses. No one was buying grams like I was from Walter, right? So it took me about a week to get rid of this shit, right? And I was serving a homie. It wasn't like posting on my story like, hey, hit my line. Like, I was literally just, the people I kicked it with every day were the only people buying it, right? So it took me about a week to get rid of it. I hit up Walter again at the end of this week, all the while still going through my code plug, still buying off picks. I hit up Walter again, and I'm like, yo, man, are you good? Never got back to me, never spoke to me again. I still to this day have never heard from Walter again. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened with my phone. I tried asking Nathan about it, and he said he has no idea, which I don't know if that's true because he's known this guy for a long time. But something went down with Walter. I don't know if he got popped. I don't know what the fuck happened, but he vanished, completely vanished. And normally he always replied. He was really, really good about that. Really good about it. Even if he missed your notification, he'd get back to you later and be like, oh, I missed it, my bad. Like, he wouldn't just ignore you. So it was really strange that he just completely fell off the grid. And I had no idea what the fuck happened to him. So after this supply of the $6,000 dried up, we ran out of Molly. We didn't have a K guy. We didn't have an acid guy. But lo and behold, that was not the end of the psychedelic experience through this coke binge. We got our hands on some shit, of course. Through the reliable blow man. Of course, he found a way to get his hands on some shit, which we're going to save for the next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Drop a like if you did. Let me know if you guys are ready for Coke Chronicles 6 coming soon. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? It's your boy Goblin, and today we're coming in with Coke Chronicles Episode 6. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you do. I want to apologize for this not going up yesterday. For those of you guys who follow me on Twitter, I did say this was going to go up yesterday, and it was supposed to go up last night, but for those of you who live in Illinois, you know that they basically sent hell to our skies, and there was a shitload of lightning, and my internet was down for most of the night. So, here we are, motherfuckers. I took this time to re-record it and tell you all, fuck Comcast. If anyone has Comcast, cancel that shit. We're boycotting. This is the official Goblin Comcast boycott. Over and out. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like if you do. And also, one of my future videos, I just want to notify you guys in advance so you're all prepared. You're not mad at me. Your boy just signed a deal. Hey, we gonna have a sponsor. Hey, one of these videos coming is gonna be brought to you by somebody. Hey. I hope y'all aren't upset. Had to warn you in advance. Hey, baby, you get in the bag. Hey, we ain't fumbling shit. What it do, baby? Hey, ladies, you and me. We got the bag now. Hey, what it do? But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Drop a like. Let's dive right into it. So, this episode is yet another one of those events, kind of like Episode 3 Trapped Edition, that deserves its own episode. This is one of those things that happens that I was going to touch on in an episode. And this is partially why I was re-recording it, because I touched on this in the original recording of this episode, but it took up so much of the episode that I was like, yo, this needs to just be its own thing, right? The bonfire incident is what we're going to call this, because there's no other name for it. Now, you guys are familiar with my buddy Bobby. If you guys are OGs, you remember him. It's been, quite a few of my old videos. We've actually done commentaries together on this channel. I still kick it with the guy. I've known him for ages, right? So he hits me up over this past summer. I want to say it was like maybe mid-July that